Election day arrived on November the 7th, 1983, in the central Illinois town of Bloomington. It was a day that everyone expected would make waves in the news. Instead of the usual stories, the media was engulfed by a heart-wrenching tragedy as reports surfaced of the gruesome discovery of 4 beloved members of the Hendricks family found dead and dismembered in their residence. On that evening, David Hendricks, 29, allegedly reached out to the police from his Wisconsin business trip, requesting them to check on his wife, Susan Hendricks, 30, along with their 3 children, Rebekah, 9, Grace, 7, and Benjamin, 5. Hendricks reported that he had left right before midnight on November the 4th, and ever since, his calls to home had gone unanswered. This lack of communication was making him increasingly anxious. The millionaire entrepreneur and fervent fundamentalist Christian had valid reasons for his distress. Responders allegedly entered to find Susan and the children scattered around the home in pools of blood. Authorities reported no visible signs of a struggle next to the victims. The weapons, a butcher knife and an axe, were found, carefully cleansed of fingerprints. Upon his return to Illinois, David allegedly told investigators that he had taken the children to Chuck E. Cheese for dinner, arriving home at approximately 8:30 p.m. Susan was reportedly out at a baby shower during this time. He stated that he put the children to bed at 9, with Susan coming back about an hour later. Around 11 p.m., David left for his prearranged trip to Madison. At first, the alibi looked foolproof, but the coroner's reports told a different story. The medical examiner noted that the condition of the food in the children's stomachs suggested they died around 9:30, right when David was still there with them. On December the 5th, 1983, police took David Hendricks into custody, accusing him of committing 4 murders. In the course of the trial, the district attorney focused on Hendricks' significant involvement with the Plymouth Brethren, a conservative Christian denomination. The DA claimed that Hendricks' public persona as a religious man would hinder any chance of divorce, positing that he resorted to the tragic decision to murder his family to escape his marital obligations. The prosecution brought up various indications that Hendricks was eager to exit his marriage, including his recent dramatic weight loss. They also noted that he had auditioned 13 female models for advertising his back brace invention. One model commented on Hendricks' appealing scent, which was interpreted as a hint that he was trying to win her over. The prosecution took into account the absence of a struggle, despite police noting that the back door was unlocked. At that time, it was common for residents of Bloomington to leave their doors unlatched, which resulted in local media highlighting a significant increase in the sales of heavy-duty door hardware and locksmith services following the tragic events. In spite of the ambiguous details, such as blood splatter evidence pointing to 2 perpetrators, with distinct weapons and claims of police mishaps, like misidentified evidence containers. The jury delivered a guilty verdict for David Hendricks on all counts on November the 24th, 1984. Instead of sentencing Hendricks to death, Judge Richard Boehner chose to hand down 4 consecutive life sentences. In his final statement, the judge indicated that he personally felt uncertain about whether Hendricks' guilt had been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. For 7 long years, Hendricks labored diligently from the confines of the Menard Correctional Center, striving to secure a new trial. In the midst of this struggle, he also embraced a new chapter in his life by remarrying. In a landmark decision in 1990, the Illinois Supreme Court annulled his convictions, giving him a new chance to fight for justice. Their ruling particularly denounced the prosecution's attempts to cast a negative light on the model auditions. Following 12 hours of careful consideration, the jury found Hendricks not guilty. Once the second trial was behind him, Hendricks chose to move to Florida, where he successfully rebuilt his flourishing orthopedics and back brace business. Once he was free, Hendricks shared his thoughts with the press, declaring, "I have been in prison for 7 years, and I know and my family knows that I am not the same guy I was when I was put in there. I've been deprived and defamed. There's a lot of anger, and I'll probably have to work it out." In 2012, Hendricks penned Tom Henry, Confession of a Killer, which delves into the life of his former cellmate and close friend, Henry Hildenbrand. To this day, the tragic murders of Hendricks family remain unresolved. At this moment, detectives are examining several potential leads and have not publicly named any suspects in the murder cases. The community is optimistic that authorities will soon provide answers and ensure justice for the victims. I would love to hear your thoughts, and please tell me what you all think would have been a possible motive to kill this sweet little family. As always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next Friday.